Let me speak to my people. Zoom in on me. Let me speak to my people. It's me and y'all. Forget Chidi.
Shut up. I didn't see your struggle. Enough events for you too. I didn't see your struggle. Enough events for you.
Hey, welcome back to NoVex, guys. Another episode, and you're here with MC Faith. I'm here with
Chidi. What's good? What's up, y'all? We back.
We back better. We got another topic for y'all. Another juicy one because I know y'all liked the last one we did. And before we get into that, though, don't forget to follow Nigerian Nation on Instagram. Follow us on Spotify. Listen to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Also subscribe to our YouTube. Every platform that we're on, just to keep updated on our episodes. Today we're going to talk about languages. Not just any language. Nigerian languages. Can you speak your language?
Yeah, I can speak
Igbo. What is your language?
Yeah, I'm from Igbo. I'm from Enugu State, 042 to be exact, Coal City. Igbo Kwenu! Anybody who's watching, you already know what's going on.
No,
but
forget that. Yoruba first.
But yeah, I can speak my language. Even though I was born in the United States, I was born out here. My parents, they really just always spoke to us, like me, my brother, my sister growing up. Yeah, they just spoke to us. They never really forced it on us to learn it. But, I'm the youngest, so I kind of was around the house the longest.
Yeah.
So, I just wanted to learn it. So I just kept on trying. And, of course, there was, the teasing, like, this woke, they tried to speak Igbo now, like, I'm going to you know what I'm saying, like, what's wrong with his head? But eventually it's kind of like, you keep on speaking it, it's like, you just get the respect. So
yes, and it becomes more natural.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm Yoruba, and when they saw Yoruba, dear. It's a little bit.
Right.
I said I could speak Yoruba a little bit. And you're looking like, what did she just say?
Wait, what is that? What'd you say?
I said, Mole saw Yoruba, dear.
Ooh, what is that? What does that mean?
I can speak Yoruba a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a little.
See, if you say that in Igbo, it's Inasibo, one tinti.
I like 1 tinti.
One tinti.
I like that. But yeah, so it is a bit weird not knowing how to fully speak it. Like, even if you fully understand it, people will automatically look at you different because you're here in the U.S. or you're anywhere in the diaspora, not in Nigeria specifically. They'll be like, can you really speak your language? Like,
right.
Yeah, you can speak it, but can you really speak it?
Right.
Or you know what? When they be talking in Yoruba or Igbo or Hausa, talking the different languages around you, and they assume you can't even understand or speak it. And they start talking about you, and then you respond in that language, and then they're like, oh.
They're like, oh my God,
oh,
you just speak,
you just speak. Me. You got, yes, I heard what you said. Yes, I can repeat it back. Okay.
Wait, hold on, wait. Why can you not speak Yoruba when you were born in Nigeria?
Again.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I was born there, but I came here when I was 6.
So like, you didn't want to, like, did you take it upon yourself to try to learn?
Oh yeah, I mean that's why I can speak it now.
So you can speak fluently, top to bottom.
I think I can speak fluently.
I think regardless of, because there's so many languages, right? There's like
so many languages.
Ibibio, Epic, Tiv, you know what I mean? So many. Kanu, many different states and so many languages. I'm just like, regardless of when your parents immigrated over here or migrated over here, it's kind of like, I think we should at least try to, right? Because as you got to think about it, right? We're first generation.
Yeah.
We're first generation born Nigerians. We're trying to build our community. We're trying to build our community for our future kids. You know what I mean? So I think as the generations continue to go, it's like, if we can barely speak our language, it's like, how can
my kids speak it?
Yeah,
how can their kids speak it? And it's like we're getting whitewashed.
No, literally, it's like, where will our culture be by then? You know what I mean? Like, where will we?
It's difficult though, because then you have some people where their parents just don't want to teach. Not like they don't want to, but it doesn't come naturally. Like, they just speak English around the house because they speak English every day.
Right.
They're at work, they speak English. Wherever they go, they speak English. So when they come home, English comes out.
Right.
So it's harder to be like, oh, mom, like, speak to me in Yoruba, speak to me in this language.
Right.
I want to learn.
It's like I'm kind of rusty. Like, their parents be rusty themselves.
Right, no. They're like, I'm like, you know the language. I want to learn. So, like, teach me. But it's also, like, not only on the parents, also on you. You have to have the desire. Some people just don't want to. And then when you don't want to, it's like, what are your parents going to do? They can't force you. Like, you have to learn your language. By fire, by force.
Yeah, it's like, if you don't want to learn, how can somebody teach you?
Exactly. So there's like there's those different sides to it. It's like, you can't be forced to learn it, and then also like your parents have to be also willing to teach you. But it's so beautiful knowing your own language.
That's a funny perspective that I always think about, right? Because I see videos, I'm on TikTok, on Twitter, I always see these videos, and like, some people's parents, like, they don't want them to learn the language. You get what I'm saying? So I'm like,
That's
I'm kind of
what
like,
you said to me.
yeah, like it's kind of a double-edged sword because like our parents came over here in the 70s, 80s, right? It was really tough on immigrants back
Yeah.
then, you know, especially in the States,
Yeah.
in the UK, wherever you're at, right? Like immigrating anywhere was hella tough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was mad tough. So,
hard.
like, you know, some of them, just like our names, like they just didn't want to teach us our language.
Yeah.
It's like they thought that they were protecting us back then, but it's kind of like now that it is okay, now it's kind of like, yo, like, you almost cheated me out of my culture. But, you know, that's why I say it's a double-edged sword because, like,
Yeah.
they thought they were doing something good, you know what I mean, for the parents that did that, you know?
You know what? You just brought up another point where it's like now that it's okay. Like there's that shift in society where it's now it's acceptable to be Nigerian, even though it doesn't need to be accepted, but it's acceptable to be Nigerian. Now everybody's like, oh, I want to learn my language. I have to. Like I'm going to go take Igbo classes online. I'm taking these classes online because I have to know my language because I feel embarrassed now that I don't even know it. Whereas a couple years ago, if you didn't know your language, nobody cared. Everybody's like, oh, you don't know. Look, it's fine. Just keep going. There are some people in Nigeria that don't even know their language and they live in Nigeria.
How sad. I mean, that to me, that's
like
sad.
they speak in English.
Yeah, they're literally getting like, and Mandarin because, right, there's a lot of Chinese people in in Nigeria. They've bought a lot of property in Nigeria, you know, for reasons that, you know, for whatever reason. I just, again, it's sad that they're learning Mandarin and English before any of their on the ground language. You know what I mean? It's really weird.
It's sad. So it's like even people back home, if they don't even know their language, how can you expect me that's not back home? How do I feel encouraged to want to learn my language? If I'm calling my cousins, they're speaking to me in English. What's the point of me speaking back to them in Yoruba? I'll just speak to them in English. I'm not saying it's my cousins because my cousins, they know their language. But I'm saying in general.
I mean, I'm not, it's really weird with that. Like, I'm not going to say that I don't blame them because at the end of the day, English is very much the centralized, it's very much the centralized language, but you know, there are just more opportunities with knowing English. At the end of the day, it's just reality, you know what I mean? It's reality. So I do see that perspective of like, oh, if I learn English when I'm in school, I'll be able to come over to the States, I'll be able to get a good job, good education, more opportunity, but it's kind of like people just lose the fact that it's dwindling down our culture. Like it's just slowly sawing away at what it really is to be Nigerian, whether it's the names, the culture, the language. Because it's like, what else besides? And you know, this is a really interesting thing. And like, you know, anybody that's listening or watching, we want you to comment and engage with us below on this. What do you think? Like, what are other ways that we can really identify as being Nigerian? You know what I mean? Like for generations to come.
Other than the language.
Yeah, other than the language, and that's why, like
culture. Nigerian culture is beautiful. It's diverse. Like our clothes alone. Have you seen on TikTok the other African weddings? They were trying to wear Nigerian clothes to their weddings. Like the Nigerian culture is beautiful. People are trying to copy that. We have clothing, food, music. We have so many languages an additional plus to it. I don't think like we have other things.
But you don't think over time, like as one thing begins to get knocked away, you know, like maybe first it's language and like, and again, music is not that prevalent. We have other people featuring on Afrobeat songs, right? Like we've already discussed that. It's kind of like, we can't even say music is our strong suit anymore. We can't necessarily say our culture is our strong suit anymore if other people continue to borrow and adopt our ideas. You know what I mean? That's why I mean, like,
our own thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I want people to, that's where I'm really curious on that. Like, I want to know what people think. Like, how do you identify as being Nigerian anymore? You know what I mean? Like, and that's why I think something like, you know, Naija Nation is very important. Like, whether it's whatever it is.
The community.
Yeah, like that community of like, hey, like, we may be getting robbed here, but you know, when you come to Naija, like whatever you're doing with Naija Nation, it is going to be that central hub. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I always appreciate Naija Nation. You know?
It's interesting that you brought that up. Like, how do you identify as being Nigerian? Like, if someone asked you, like, what about you makes you Nigerian, what would you answer?
I would say my name is Chidi Udengu. So I'm as Nigerian as it. No, I'm joking.
So your name?
Nah, you know
so
what
your
I'm
name makes you Nigerian?
Yeah, I mean, like literally whenever I tell people my name is Chidi, like, oh my God, I've never heard that. Where's it from? I'm like,
not the white girl accent.
I'm like, oh, it's Nigerian, and they're just like, oh, okay, that's cool. You know, I start to dibble and dabble a little bit, but it's like, it's that initial thing. You know,
Yeah.
it's that initial thing that it's kind of like, yeah, like I
But
just
not
like,
everybody knows what Nigerian means.
exactly.
Like when you say, "Oh yeah, I'm Nigerian," like, you're Nigerian.
Yeah.
Do you know? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Oh, my cousin's sister, boyfriend's brother is Nigerian, and they just gave me jollof rice.
and that's the thing. I'm like, I mean, besides the name, I would say, you know, the language, definitely the food. I eat Nigerian food all the time.
I mean, that's the best thing.
Yeah, for sure. I eat Nigerian food all the time.
So it's like those are the things that make you you.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's a way to actually like water down like being Nigerian. Like even if you don't know your language, there's other things that you can pick up that's like, this makes me me. I am Nigerian. That's who I am. Whether I speak the language or not, I'm still gonna be Nigerian.
Right.
That's not gonna be something that's out of me because I don't speak the language.
Nigerian by blood, man. Nigerian by blood.
Nigeria has a sweater.
DNA.
Don't you have a sweater?
It's in the DNA, man. The
Yes,
DNA,
Nigerian by blood. It's not in how you speak.
Yeah.
Whether you can speak, it's not in like what you eat, what you wear, it's who you are. You are Nigerian. Be proud of it.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point. I gotta agree with that for sure.
That's who you are.
Yeah, no, for sure. And for anybody who may be listening who doesn't feel like, you know, the most comfortable, because I know so many, I know so many people that are either half Nigerian or they've done, you know, an ancestry.com
and
test.
then they find out that they're
and they find out and they're just kind of like, I don't know. Yeah, they're kind of like, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, you know.
It's hard because like they want to learn their culture.
Yeah.
They want to learn the language. But I think it's all about like educating yourself first.
Right. But again, like I do have to like honestly take some accountability and like some of that is on us. Like for it not, like sometimes we don't foster the most
environment.
Yeah, the most inviting, you know, the most inviting.
So people can come and learn.
Yeah, like, because let's be real, right? As Nigerians, we're so proud of where we're from. We're so proud.
We're proud.
It's kind of like, don't touch what I got going on. You know what I mean? And that can be so detrimental to somebody who even is Nigerian that wants to learn more about like, hey, I'm Nigerian, I want to do this. But it's kind of like, I'm being shut out. You know what I mean? I'm being shut out by my own people.
We need to be more inviting as a community. We need to like accept like there's other people that want to come and learn more about our culture, learn about who we are, and want to be part of us. Just because they want to learn it does not mean they're going to take anything away. It's an addition, not a minus. Like they're not subtracting everything from it.
That's true.
They're adding more to us. So I feel like we need to be more inviting, like accept that people want to learn more. The more people learn about the culture, the more the culture is even prospering. It's prospering. Like we need more people to learn about it because they're learning more. They're learning the language and everything. We'll be able to teach our kids. We need it to prosper. I'm all for people trying to learn Nigerian language. Just don't do it in a disrespectful way. Like when they had the Panajam nonsense thing on TikTok. You didn't see that?
Oh, the fufu trend?
People were trying. Oh, not I said Panajam.
People trying to eat fufu and say, oh, this fufu is disgusting.
Like that. That is what I don't agree with. That in itself, like that was rude. That's disrespectful. There's a way of trying to understand and like get into the culture, and there's a way of doing it disrespectfully. That was disrespectful.
So what would you say for somebody listening right now who's kind of like, hey, I'm Nigerian, but I'm not that embedded in the culture. Like, what's the next step?
Joining Naija Nation.
No, you're not. I agree. Yeah.
Literally, like join Naija Nation. Like learn more about what is Nigeria. Like the history of Nigeria. What are the different cultures there? Learn more about, educate yourself, number one. Then also join a community where you can actually meet other Nigerians who can help you foster that environment of being Nigerian. Like learn about the culture, learn about the food, learn about different things. Just don't do it disrespectfully. There's always a way of doing something respectfully and just being open to learn.
No,
like when I'm learning how to speak Spanish, I'm doing it respectfully.
Right.
Not disrespecting their culture, the Hispanic culture at all. So you just have to do it the same. Give everybody benefit of the doubt and be respectful. That's it. That's true. And I know that there are a lot of resources,
you know, like language learning resources, and it's so. I love it. You know, I'm gonna plug one that I know off the top.
Okay.
Sorolingo. Sorolingo's on Instagram. I don't know if anybody who's listening has heard of Sorolingo, but you know, they teach a various amount of languages, and the languages that aren't the most represented. You know what I mean? And that's why I really like it. You know, it's not Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa. Like they really do teach the the smaller tribes' languages,
Yeah.
you know, and like there's so many people like
Yeah.
Calabar, they teach everything, you know. So
even in your schools, they have a lot of schools who teach language. I know UCLA specifically, like we had a Yoruba class, like a Yoruba.
You're lying.
I'm not kidding. The first time we all heard about it, everybody was like, yeah, I need to take that Yoruba class. Everybody was
wait, so it was like an
excited.
actual class?
Yes,
no way.
The professor was Yoruba, as in he would come in, Ekaro, Ekaso.
What?
Like,
That's crazy.
They taught us Yoruba. Okay, but I like dropped the class.
Oh, nah.
But it was great.
What?
When my friends that took it, I was like, okay, I already speak Yoruba. There's no wonder he said
Right.
it. I wanted to support, so I have my friends did it. But there are courses like that in your schools that you can take. I think even CSUN has a course, like an Igbo course, something like that. So definitely just look out there. If you can't go do the one that Chidi said, maybe go to your school and check out what they have there too.
Yeah, and there are so many NSAs nowadays.
Plug in UCLA NSA.
So many NSAs, like nationwide, VCU, Cornell NSA, NYU NSA.
No, NSA is Nigerian Students Association.
Right. Or ASAs, right? All the African
Students Association,
but specifically NSAs, there's so many. Because guess what? There's so many Nigerian students.
Yeah.
Education is such a huge
deal,
huge pillar in our society, in our community. You know what I mean?
To be educated in Nigerian. Like,
no, for
there's
sure.
no way around it.
Yeah, for sure.
We have
so
the
like,
brains for it. We're just
exactly.
smart.
So I think like all the NSAs, you know, even if it is something that the NSAs are investing into themselves, you know, using some of the funds that the school gives, you know, to fund some of these language teaching programs, I think that would be great.
Idea.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Yeah, just so they can help within themselves, their own community, and help everybody, you know, understand their culture, their language even more. I think just, you know, having that awareness and taking that step to going out there looking for the resources, and then that's it.
Right, but all in all, like at the end of the day, right, like you gotta want to do that shit.
You have to have the passion.
Yeah, like you have to want to do that shit. Like, yeah, like it, like I'm gonna, because I can go on all day. But one thing that like really does get me is like when people, they just don't want to, like it's like the embarrassment. I'm like, bro, don't feel embarrassed. Like when you feel embarrassed and you give up, it's kind of like you lost. You know, like
you're giving up before you even try.
Exactly. Like you have to try. Yes, people may tease you. Yes, people may say X, Y, and Z. But it's kind of like, hey, guess what? You're gonna get people are gonna hate on you regardless. If you're doing something good or if you're doing something bad. You're trying to learn your language. Like, you know what I mean? So just anybody out there who's listening, I'm begging you, please just try. Continue to look up, research, talk to your parents in your language. No matter what your language is, they will chuckle at you. Just a disclaimer, but it's cool, man. They love you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they love you. So
they love you. They also will appreciate that you want to learn.
Yeah.
Like, once you get to that stage of you're speaking back to them in their language, like, oh, hold up. Like, you got this. And they'll appreciate that. Your grandparents might appreciate it even more than your parents. So definitely try to learn, put yourself out there, and have that passion.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
Thank you for listening to our episode. And we'll see you guys next time. Don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go on Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, whatever it's called, and subscribe there. Listen to all the episodes, and we'll see you at the next one.
Absolutely. And last but not least, you already know, no vex.
Don't be upset, please.
No vex.
And if you want to be, go in the comments and be upset.
I beg, no vex.